Welcome back to Handmade Happy Hour. Today I'm going to show you 8 different trucker hat makeovers. I'm going to do napkin decoupage to create some spring ones. I'm going to show you fabric decoupage, and I'm going to show some seasonal designs. These are all beginner friendly. Let's get started with the napkin decoupage. I'm using plain trucker hats. You can pick those up at any craft store, and paper napkins. Home Goods is my favorite place for getting paper napkins. The first step is prepping out your napkin, and you can see I've got some shape designs, all over designs. You're going to separate the plies of the napkin. You're only going to use the top printed ply. Some napkins are 2 ply, 3 ply. Just make sure you're only using the top printed ply. This is the feathering technique. That's just water with a small paintbrush, and I'm painting around the graphic. And then I'm going to use my fingernail. You could use a toothpick, you could tear it to create a feathered edge. Once that's Mod Podged onto the hat, you will see that it really blends away into the hat and doesn't create a hard line. For the bow, I'm going to go ahead and just cut around the bow. And I'm cutting as close to the pink as possible, but leaving a little bit of the white border. And for the blue and white napkin, I did that same feathering technique, and you can see I'm just tearing out that center section. All right, let's get started with decoupaging on the hat. I'm going to use matte Mod Podge for this. It's my favorite formula for doing napkins on a hat. If it was fabric, which I'm going to show you later, we would use the fabric formula. So go ahead and layer your matte Mod Podge on the hat. Some of it will soak in a little bit, so you do need to continue to add more of the Mod Podge on top of it. So you can see I'm really getting a little bit extra down under there, making sure those edges are really sealed down. For this all over design, I am using the torn bits, but coming up in the video, I'm going to show you how to do a hat with the all over design, but not tearing it, by making a pattern. That will be on one of the Halloween hats. Add a little bit more of our Mod Podge, and you can really see how I'm using the brush to push down and get those edges down. So continue doing this until all of the pieces are covered. I'm going to smooth with my finger. And now for those edges, I really like to make it look like the fabric is coming off or on the hat. I guess I should say napkin, not fabric. So I made a crease line there, and then I'm just cutting along that crease line, and then I will add the Mod Podge, and we're going to put that piece of napkin right up to that stitch line. It really is just a nice way to finish off those edges, and it makes the sides and the bottom and the top look finished and polished. Let's see, just going in, adding more Mod Podge to make sure those pieces are down. I love this blue and white with the pink, it's so cute. Now once this is dry, after about 15 or 20 minutes, we're gonna go in and top coat and really seal all of that down and make sure that it's good and durable. This is not going to be machine washable, but think of it as a specialty hat. I have spot cleaned this, and I've been wearing it and I've had no problems with it. So now you're just gonna let that dry overnight, and look at how gorgeous that turns out. It almost looks like actual china. Okay, now let's do a wildflower hat. And for this one, I just did sort of some placement there, and then I'm going in and adding the Mod Podge and working in small sections so that I don't use too much Mod Podge. Go ahead and lift that up a bit and glue it down. This is really fun if you want to just do one simple motif. I love this napkin. I believe this napkin was from Hobby Lobby, and it was more like a guest towel size, so you got that nice long piece that works quite well going across the front of a hat. And again, we're gonna top coat that, and we're gonna let that dry, and it's so cute. I love that one. You could add some gems on there. I'm gonna show you adding gems on the Valentine hat. Really gorgeous. And that bow, of course, we have to do some pink and blue. This is so easy. It doesn't get any easier than this. Go ahead and Mod Podge that down, And you can see again, I'm kind of working in sections so that I don't end up using too much Mod Podge. You don't want to have it overhang too much Mod Podge on the actual hat where you don't have the napkin. So just work in sections and go slow. Now for this, I'm going to top coat with some Mod Podge Sparkle. And this is going to give it a really nice light dusting of glitter. That looks white right now, but it's going to dry perfectly clear, but perfectly sparkly. And you can see I'm just highlighting the areas of the napkin that are already drawn for me. Super easy. Go ahead and paint that on. That's one of the Mod Podge detail brushes. And there it is wet. And let's see it dry. Look how gorgeous. I love all that light sparkle. Okay, let's do some fabric decoupage hats. For this one, we're gonna make a pattern. I'm using a strawberry bandana, and we're gonna use the fabric Mod Podge. So I'm using wax paper to create a pattern of the hat portion of our trucker hat. You could do this same technique on the bill of the hat, which I'm gonna show you on the Valentine hat. So I'm just folding back the wax paper, trying to create a pattern of just that white section. So sometimes this is trial and error. I got this cut out of my wax paper and I tested it, and now I'm gonna cut it out of my fabric. Look at this cute strawberry fabric. That's from a bandana. Go ahead and cut that out. I believe this bandana might have been Hobby Lobby as well. And now we're going to iron that because I do see some creases in there. And again, we're using fabric Mod Podge for this one. Fabric Mod Podge is machine washable on cold and line dry. But for this, again, I would probably think of it as a specialty hat and do hand wash. So go ahead and add your fabric Mod Podge to the entire white portion. It's kind of hard to see there. Then I'm placing my fabric piece down, and you've got a little time to work with it. If you feel like it's starting to dry out or you're not working quickly enough, then go ahead and pull that up and add some more Mod Podge. Now to that top section there, you're gonna have to do a pleat. So let's go ahead and get that glued to the sides, all lined up. For the pleat, I'm gathering it in the center, and then we're gonna glue that down. It's the same way it would be if it was a sewn hat, but we're just gluing. Add a little bit more under there. And don't worry if you've got overhang, we're going to trim all of that up. And we'll trim around that button too. Smooth that down. And now we'll just go in with some sharp scissors, and well, that's kind of a tongue twister, isn't it? And we will trim away the extra. And for this hat, I wanted to make it extra flirty, so I'm going to be adding some lace trims and things like that. So go ahead and trim all that up. And then we're going to top coat with more of the fabric Mod Podge, and that will really seal it down. Now these are the Mod Podge detail paint brushes, and I'm going to go in and paint more of that fabric Mod Podge down. And then I will add that lace trim right into the fabric Mod Podge to glue it down. It's really that easy. This is such a great heavy duty fabric glue. I love it for trims. I use it for lots of different things. Now let's do some more of that lace trim along the front section. You can see I'm just loading up that Mod Podge. Again, this is the fabric Mod Podge. So if you were using the matte gloss or satin, it would glue this down, but it works best with the fabric. Now I'm using some jewel glue here, and I'm going to just glue down some little tiny rhinestones just to highlight the design and give it a little sparkle. You can buy these rhinestones in big sets of all different colors. And now I'm going to add some white pearls. These are flat-backed pearls. That's just my gem tool there. You can use a grease pencil or one of those little wax sticks. And now I think we need to add a bow. So I'm going to go ahead and make just a quick knotted bow. And then tie that off. Knot that. This will give you a nice flat shaped bow. You can trim that away. We're going to glue a little embellishment there, so you don't need to worry about that knot. For this, we're gonna hot glue that to the corner. Press that down, trim up the edges. And then I found this really cute strawberry embellishment. It's like a flat-backed button type thing, and we'll glue that to the center. So adorable. I love this. It's so fun and flirty. Next, I'm going to show you how you do just a simple patch. This is so easy to do. You can do any shape. You could do a monogram. I'm just cutting a heart shape from some fabric, and I'm going to literally just glue it to the center using the fabric Mod Podge. It does not get any easier than this. If you had like character fabric or team fabric, this would be a fun way to just cut a heart out of that and add that to a hat for game day or for any of your theme park adventures that you might go on. You could easily make a Disneyland, Disney World, Universal, Knott's Berry Farm. What am I forgetting? I know there's more theme parks. Go ahead and add that Mod Podge to the back, and you can see that's a nice thick coat there. And then you're gonna just place it right onto the hat. The hardest part is having messy fingers here. Go ahead and place that down. And I do let this dry overnight. Again, this is a specialty hat, so I'm not gonna be throwing it in the machine, but you can hand wash this. We're gonna let that dry, and look how cute. All right, let's take a look at some seasonal designs. First up, I'm going to show you a Valentine hat. This is really easy to do. This is with fabric, and I'm only doing the bill of the hat. I got this adorable candy heart fabric, and I matched my purple hat to it. For this project, I am using the fabric Mod Podge again, and I'm using wax paper to create a pattern of the bill. So here I'm just using my fingernail to make that crease in the paper, but you could certainly use a pencil or a toothpick to make that crease. I'm wrapping it around the bill just to get that shape, and then we will raw cut that out and give it a test and make sure we did good. It's only wax paper, so if you mess up, you just make another pattern until you get it right. I've been making these patterns a long time, so I'm pretty good at it, but when I first got started, I definitely had a little trial and error. But since it's only wax paper, it's no big deal. Now we're going to cut that out of our fabric. I did pay attention to the direction. I wanted to make sure I had certain candies showing. That's why I like using the wax paper, because you can really see the fabric underneath it. That looks like it's a good fit. Let's add our fabric Mod Podge to the bill of the hat. Super easy to do. Nice thick coat. And then we'll just simply glue that piece down. And like I was saying earlier, when it comes to like character fabrics or teams, this is a really easy way to make your own customized game day hat or a hat for a theme park. I absolutely love it. Go ahead and smooth that down. And then we're gonna just trim away the extra there. Just go in once it's a little bit dry and trim that away. And I'm pressing with my fingers to make sure it's really solid down on there. Now for the top coating, I'm top coating with the matte Mod Podge. You can top coat both different ways, but for this, because I'm adding the bling, I did not want any of the shininess or any of the gloss that comes with the fabric Mod Podge. I wanted more of a matte finish. That was just a personal preference, but you can do whatever you want. And once that's dry, I'm gonna go in with my detail paint brushes. Those are Mod Podge, and I will link those in the description. You can grab them at Michael's. It's a 10 set, and there is so many different shapes. I love it. And I'm gluing those gems onto the hat. I'm just following the lines that come already in the design. That's my favorite way to highlight. It's really so easy that way. Just paint on your jewel glue. You could use fabric Mod Podge here too. Or if you have a jewel glue that you love, use that. You just want it to be compatible with the type of gem that you're using. These are acrylics, they're plastic, so any of these jewel glues work great. You can see I trimmed out the edges, and then I'm gonna go and do a little bit across the border, the top section there, with some white or clear type gems. I love all these candy colors. This is so cute for Valentine's. I have another video where I show a tote bag and shoes using that same fabric. Go ahead and border out the top. I think by now in this video, you're starting to see that these design ideas are endless. So, you know, basically you just gotta find your favorite fabric. Look how cute that turns out. All right, let's do a Halloween one. This one I am gonna use the fabric formula. And I separated the plies of the napkin. And I'm gonna go ahead and add the fabric to the hat. I'm misting my napkin with water. Misting it, placing it down. The misting's gonna help it work around those curved edges. And then we're gonna glue that top. We're gonna do that same kind of pleating technique. You have to be very careful here though, because the napkin is delicate and this is a thicker formula. I like using the matte Mod Podge, and I do like experimenting with the fabric formula here. Some of the very thin napkins, it's tough with the fabric formula. Now once it's dry, we're gonna go ahead and trim off the extra. And now you can see this Halloween hat really taking shape. Super cute, super easy to do. This napkin was a home goods napkin also. I love that retro look. Now I'm going to seal it with more of the Mod Podge. This is the matte Mod Podge. All of these formulas are a little bit interchangeable. So once you're playing around with it and you get the hang of it, you can decide which formula you really want to use. All right, we're gonna add more of that fabric Mod Podge to the edge, and we're gonna glue down some rickrack trim. Just gluing that to finish off that edge. You certainly don't need to. You can just cut that edge and seal it with a little bit more Mod Podge, but I like a little bit of extra bling on my stuff, so trim it is. Now here's a cute little Frankenstein pumpkin type napkin. So sort of that same idea as the bow. And for this one, I'm going to show you, I'm using some pins to kind of mark off where I want to add the Mod Podge. When you're working with these real specific shapes, I don't like using too much Mod Podge or having it go over. I like it to look more like it's an iron-on transfer or something. So I just marked with my pins where the parameters are for adding the Mod Podge. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that there to the hat. I'm gonna mist that with a little bit of water, and then we'll place that right onto the hat. So these are all just different techniques. In this video, I wanted to showcase lots of different ways that I do these hats. They've been very popular. I've made some shorts with these and they've done really, really well. So I thought, you know what, let's make a whole compilation video of these hats. And there's that detail paintbrush working for me again. I love these brushes. And we're gonna top coat the entire thing with more of the Mod Podge. And now we got ourselves a little Halloween hat. I don't think I added too much bling to that. I should have added some gems. Okay, let's do this Christmas one. Look at the gingerbread fabric, so adorable. We're gonna glue that onto the hat using fabric Mod Podge. We're gonna just line up the 3 little gingerbread houses across the hat. Got a little time to play there. And smooth with my finger. I love this gingerbread print with the green hat. I mean, it's so cute. And you can see here, we're gonna layer up our fabrics even. So that makes it really easy. Place one in the center there, kind of overlapping. And now this one I'm really gonna bling out. So let's go ahead and get it sealed down. I'm sealing with more of the fabric Mod Podge, but you could do the matte also. And I'm gonna add more of the sparkle. So I'm adding that to all of the areas where it's got the snow, just to really give it a little bit of a festive look. Remember, this is a holiday hat. It's almost like an ugly sweater hat. Although I don't think it's very ugly. I wore this all holiday season and everyone was always stopping me. So I added some gems, and then I'm gonna glue down this cute little gingerbread man. That was one of those little mini ornaments at the craft store. I got a little velvet bow there. That's a scrapbooking embellishment. So really I just glued all this cute stuff to it. I absolutely loved wearing this hat this holiday. Everybody was stopping me Where did you get that? Where did you get that? I said, I made it. Look how adorable that turns out. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed these 8 trucker hat makeovers. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I'll be back next week with another fun video to share with you.